Those who criticize our generation forget who raised it, and also forget, or just don't have a clue, what position they have left us in. So it is our turn now to fix what has been done, and we must stand up, and we must stand up quickly, for our next generation, for our grandchildren, before it's too late. So I just want to ask you one question, and that question is, what does freedom mean to you?
The winner of the straw poll this year, Congressman Okay. Okay. Congressman Ron Paul gets 30%. Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney gets 23%. And as you can see, there are a number of candidates who got 6, 5, 4, 3, several of them very prominent. Winner of this year's CPAC straw poll is now, okay. Well, the winner of this year's CPAC straw poll is Texas Congressman Ron Paul.
In the end, he was the winner. Probably not the reaction he was hoping for when you name a favorite to run for the White House. Mixed applause and boos as Ron Paul was announced over the weekend. The fiery Texas Republican, no doubt unfazed by the reaction. He's live with me now from Capitol Hill, winner of that straw poll for the second year in a row. How you doing, sir? Congressman
I'm
Ron
doing fine.
Paul. Welcome back here.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So who was in the audience booing you? Did you get a name on the? Did you get an ID on those people?
No, I wasn't there, so I didn't watch that little ceremony at the end. But it tells you that people aren't unanimous on this cause of liberty. You know, I am very determined that liberty is the issue, and some people like to be taken care of more so than demanding their freedoms.
During a live introduction to Congressman Ron Paul on Tuesday, America's Newsroom incorrectly aired a clip. It was clearly a mistake. We used the wrong videotape.
You've seen this with the online polls, where Ron Paul starts winning, so they pull him off the poll. That's probably happened 6, 7, 8 times I know of, in Yahoo polls and other major polls.
When I went to the YouTube page, I started watching the Dr. Paul video, and while I was doing that, I was looking at his statistics. Now, I've got many videos up on there, so I've watched statistics for over a year now. And that's when I began to see that something wasn't quite right here. I began to smell a rat. I mean, look at this. It had been rated by 1,596 people, 1,245 left comments, favorited 652 times, and the number of views was only 213? How is that possible? The answer is it's not. And I thought, well, let's give YouTube a little break here, give them a chance to straighten things out. So I went to bed and got up 8 hours later, and 8 hours later, the numbers had gone up. It had been rated by 4,229 people, 3,446 left comments, favorited 1,798 times, but the number of views was still only 213. 16 hours later, I went back and checked it out, and Ron Paul's video had gone up again. 6,326 ratings, 6,163 comments, favored it 2,763 times, and the number of views was still locked in at 213. What's wrong with this picture? Is Ron Paul's video being kept off the front page? Well, 37 hours later, I went back and checked it out again, and the numbers had jumped up. Ratings, 8,580, 10,851 people left comments, favored it 3,583 times, and the number of views was up to 301,452. Suddenly, it had a huge jump. How could that have happened, YouTube? Unless you did it on purpose. I mean, look at this. The views suddenly jumped from 213 to 301,452. There was only one reason this could happen, and that's YouTube wanted to keep Ron Paul's video off the front page. I thought, well, I wonder if they've got it on there now. And look, suddenly he's number 2 on the most viewed page of all people looking at all the videos that day. Only a pretty girl beat him on that one. And when it came to news and politics, most viewed today page, Ron Paul was number 1.
It's easier if he knows where his video is. It's a problem. I don't want to run false because but I need shots of the audience and people eating and crap like that. You know, voiceover.
The past years or so, we put on this big charade and think that we're going to change things by voting for someone who sounds correct or who the media shoves in our face.
Oops, that was my bad, caller. I cut you off.
Welcome back. There is agitation in the world of conservative blogs beneath the headline, "Life is Really Not Fair." RedState.com recently announced it was banning bloggers from posting Ron Paul-related comments. Effective immediately, new users may not shill for Ron Paul in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Not in comments, not in diaries, nada. Ron Paul is a big deal online, no?
Yeah, I'm hearing from his supporters in my email account.
Can you stop Ron Paul?
This is the reason that you're even putting him on the show, is to spike your ratings, because we know that every time we write about him, the hits to our website. No, it's not a joke. I mean, it's amazing that every time we write about him, the hits to the Washington Post website go up.
So who won? A poll of GOP insiders says Mitt Romney didn't do anything to hurt his front-runner status last night, and that's sort of what his goal was, obviously, to do no harm. 51% saying he was the biggest winner. But Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann also scored some big points as well, coming in second when people were asked who won, 21%. She was actually the only other candidate in double digits.
Well, CNN's put up just some videotape that's completely misleading and say it's one thing when it's really something else. It seems like both sides play this game, and I think a lot of people in America are just kind of sick of the game.
All right, so yesterday we had our debate wrap-up, and the general consensus seems to be that things went all right for Ron Paul, and he was treated fairly. But sadly, CNN appears to be afraid of using its own polls for its own post-game analysis. When reporting post-debate, they instead used data from a National Journal poll given to political insiders. Data taken from 5 other major poll sources post-debate showed Dr. Paul at 31.07% at Fox News, 83% at CNBC, 87% at WePolls.com. Vortex Effect might have been a little biased there with the audience, 93.31%. But even at CNN's own poll, 78%. Okay, so let's be fair. The online polls can be skewed like any other form of polling, but here's the skewing that CNN came up with. There you go. Romney at 51%, down to Paul at 0. How did they get away with this? They didn't invent the numbers, as they might as well have. Instead, they reported on a National Journal online poll that had all of 54 votes. And according to the Baltimore Sun, it was reported that Ron Paul clearly won audience favor in New Hampshire. An analysis of audience reaction shows Paul was applauded twice as much as any other candidate on stage. Throughout the 2-hour debate, Paul was applauded 11 times. Romney, Bachmann, and former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty were each applauded 5 times. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and businessman Herman Cain were each applauded 4 times. Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum was applauded the least amount of times, 3. Again, 0%. Really?
All you have to do is let your voice be heard.